Gary Johnson then head of Cambridge away. Gary, Will Boyles signed a new contract. How good is that news for the club?
Well, it's been well documented over the last 2 or 3 days. I mean, it's very good news. You know, we're really pleased that I said on Saturday, was it Saturday, that the information that everybody asked for, so I've given that as to where we were at the time, and then and of course I'm really pleased that somebody's decided. When somebody decides to stay at a club 2 seasons, it's a big decision for him, and he's made, in the end, the right decision, in my opinion. I tried to tell him that a couple of days earlier, but the whole thing's been very amicable because he's ended up signing, and we've got a quality player for the next 2 years, and I haven't got to worry about going out and finding a replacement. So that's good, and he's had a really good second half of the season, So he deserves his contract.
And when you went public on Saturday of the situation, did you still think that there was a chance that this might happen?
Yeah, always, yeah. And I think he thought himself. I think sometimes people just need a little bit of time to reflect on what they're committing themselves to. The manager, obviously, before you make an offer, you take time out to say, well, is this the best player we can get for the money that we're paying? Is it value for money? And he'll be thinking, is this the right club for me to ply my trade for the next 2 years? So, that extra 24 hours helped him get his head right and make the right decision for his future. And that's what he's done. Credit to him.
That gives you a spine as well for the team for next season, doesn't it? Also, is that the sort of signing that could influence a few others? Maybe actually, you've got something to work around then, haven't you? Build around.
Well, yeah, maybe not so much that. The big thing is that we worked very hard with him. He came here as a 20-year-old and was still young, immature as far as a centre half's concerned, not as far as a bloke is concerned, but as far as a footballer and league games, etc. So we've already put that energy and work rate into him, and he's come out of it well. So we didn't want to waste all that energy that we put in. Downsy's done a little bit of work, a lot of work with him. I've done a lot of work with him. Russell's done a lot of work with him. Tim Bell's done lots as far as the all the stuff on the stats and showing him his individual game, picking out good points, picking out bad points. Crowley's Gav's worked hard with him on his fitness and his health, so has Ian Hutton. You know what I mean? So everybody, the only one that probably hasn't done much for him is Bookie. I'll have to have a word with him about that. But no, listen, it's done, and we're pleased it's done, and we move on.
How much do you need a reaction from your players this Saturday at Cambridge?
Well, we've got a group of lads that don't, they've never gone out and not tried, or tried to not try. Their personalities are such that it would be very difficult for them to go out and actually not try, because I would see it quite early as well. But when you've got an opposition that were in their situation, and I tried to build it up that it was like a playoff game come cup final, because I wanted to see whether some of our lads would have coped had it been a playoff game, for instance, or a playoff final or something. And I learnt a little bit about sort of 2 or 3 of them, of course. But on the day, both teams are trying to stop the opposition playing. Tactically, we're trying to do things to them, and they're trying to do things to us. And sometimes you lose 1-0, and I was as disappointed as everybody else, absolutely. But there's still positives that we can build on. We've mentioned it a couple of times. We're top 5 in goal scoring, so we know that if we can keep the lads that are scoring goals and creating goals, then we'll be all right with that. I think we have to improve a little bit on not letting goals, not conceding goals, of course. So that helps you look at to who you have to bring in and what you have to do. So sometimes people see Liverpool and Man United on the Friday, and then watch a second division game, and sometimes it's a little bit different and it doesn't look so and there's much quality sort of thing. But all teams have that in the second division and the first division, and sometimes the championship. So we just got to try and do a little bit more, which we have done, and on occasions we've looked very good having done it. But we keep saying at this level we know it's inconsistency amongst the players is why they're at this level, albeit through lack of experience or people not quite being able to do it, and then you have to move them on and bring people in that can. So we generally build it.
Billy Walters, obviously on loan at Cambridge. Imagine it'll be quite a big afternoon for him.
Yeah, I mean, how hard we try to keep Billy, but sometimes other clubs offer a little bit more, and people decide to go to pastures new, which he did when he went to Northampton. Obviously, it didn't quite work out for him at Northampton, and he's ended up at the same level. Now we love Bill, and it's a shame that he left, because he was a quiet sort of character, but he was a character around the place, and it's a shame that he's now at the same level as he was when he left us, and maybe he should have stayed.
Injuries, how's the squad?
It's as you get nearer to the end of the season, and players know, a few would know that they're not in our plans, then that means your squad's slightly less in numbers. So that's what happens. Some people, have got sometimes the loans, for instance. I mean, Fulham had asked to take Elijah back to play in a couple of their big games that they had, reserve games, which obviously if he's not going to be in the first team, then that's what we allowed them to do, and that's always the case with under 23s. If they're not playing here regularly, then of course you allow them to go back, and I think Bristol City wanted to play Taylor this week, and so we allowed him to play a game there. So that's what happens with the loans. That's I've answered your question.
Yeah, I think it's just hearts and minds, isn't it? That you've got to keep it as well as bodies fit at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. And so your numbers do deplete slightly, and people have different reasons for not being available. But that's something that I've had to deal with for the last 30 years of management.